Good morning, everyone. Hafiz Omar here. Today we are going to talk about a short essay. The name of the essay is Shooting an Elephant. It was written by George Orwell, published in 1936 in London, UK. So the story behind this summary is that it's a short essay um, in which George Orwell shares a story of some unknown police officer who is stationed in Burma. While on his duty one day, he is expected to shoot an elephant. Background about this unknown police officer, or the narrator, in other words, is that he is stationed there. He does not like all the basically agenda that Britons have to offer in all of the colonies outside British territory. But Britain itself, not territory, because territory were multiple places. And he always wanted to see what he can do for people to like him. And he got the opportunity one day when an elephant ran away and killed someone, and he encountered the elephant, and he was surrounded by all the people, and he's on his duty. He's expected to shoot the elephant, something he has never thought of doing until now. Without wasting time or giving it much thought to the consequences of shooting this animal, he goes ahead and carries it out. The writer shows in his essay that we may be the best humans, but when it comes to time, we do carry out the worst of acts just because we don't want to look like a fool in front of everyone, all just at the cost of humanity. Um, I have a couple of pictures. Apparently, this was a motion picture as well. This essay became a motion picture. I have an anonymous saying that you cannot always depend on others' approval to prove yourself worthy among them. I have another picture over here of shooting an elephant, and I have a quote from George Orwell's essay where the narrator says, I often wondered whether any of the others grasped that I had done it solely to avoid looking like a fool. Um, Theme-wise, I found three other things in this essay, although there were many, but these three stood out. One of them was desire to be liked. He was an outsider, and he always wanted to um, see what he can do for people to like him. We are going to go into details of these three: desire to be liked, outsider. He had peer pressure and performance. Desire to be liked. He always wanted to see what he can do for people to like him, people from Burma. But people would make fun of him. They try to hurt him, and worst among them were the young priests who would stand and wait for opportunity to for him to do something, and they can laugh on him or make fun out of him. Um, he was never liked by anyone where he was stationed because of his background. He was a Briton soldier or police officer. They always tried to harass him or hurt him. All he wanted was to be liked by them, mainly because he never supported the British agenda in Burma or anywhere outside US, as I mentioned earlier. Peer pressure. Even though he never had the guts to kill or hurt anyone, that day when he encountered the elephant and everyone surrounded him, he ended up killing the elephant just so he does not look like a fool in front of everyone. Performance-wise, as he stood in front of the elephant with his rifle in his hands and surrounded by locals, he felt like he had to perform and do the best to make sure people appreciate what he's doing. So his thinking, his mind, as if he was in a play or something, um, where he had to make sure that people expect for him to do something, and the act that he does, he thinks that it's something that he's expected for people to do him. People expect for him to do. Cultural relativism. Talking about cultural relativism, this is one of the biggest problem going on right now all over the world, no matter where you are, Middle East, Central Asia, Europe, Africa, and unfortunately here both in northern and southern American continents. I feel like it's a disease where if you think that you're right and the other person is not, just because of your belief, just because of your cultural ideas and practices and values, does not make the other person wrong. And there's so much that needs to be done. And I'm glad that we are being taught about this in our schools, just so people can understand the basic difference of why something is there, when it's there, or appreciate. You do not have to become an enemy or an opposition all the time. You can always agree to disagree with stuff, because everyone has a different kind of the value to offer, and we can always learn from them rather than disagree with them or go against them just because it's not part of us. Um, Personal connection. There may be many ways we may be related to this essay. One of them is how at work, school, or anywhere out there, out and about, we must show people that we are part of them and not an outsider. It's so unfortunate that here in U.S., like you may be working among but white people or in a white collar community, or go and start living in a new place and people give you that eye, or give you that expression that how did he make it here, or is he really that rich, or how is he making all of this money, and coming up with all sort of ideas of like how can he be as equal to us. What makes us do any and everything to show ourselves worthy of people around us. It's really unfortunate. We do not have to switch sides to be accepted. At least not. At least we shouldn't in here in 21st century, where we have made progress to land land and take technologies above and beyond. We have made it to Mars. We've made it to other planets, and we are making a routinely thing, not something that happens only once in a while. A friend of mine recently joked about how we can all unite and work with one another, and the one way that he suggested was how they show in movies an alien is invading the world and tries to take over. My question is this really how backwards we have gone for us to just keep on giving to others without getting anything back in return? Like, I'm not asking you, like, if somebody helps you, you gotta give him money, or you gotta give him like something back, but show them your gratitude. I understand that majority of the people try to help others as a good Samaritan or out of humanity, but at least showing you're grateful to someone's effort in helping, in like when they're helping you, can make their day, and you don't have to always pay them back in something. A smile is worth $1 billion. That's what I believe. A good saying from James Rachel in the book by Stephen Kahn, our textbook, says the moral code of our own society has no special status, and I agree with it. It's merely one among many. You know, I also have my question for my peers. Why do we always have to prove ourselves worthy of someone when we can do so much better on being ourselves? Basically, what I'm trying to ask is, why do we have to dress like others, or eat like others, or um, act like others, when we can be natural, when we can be ourselves, and still progress in our own way and make better person out of us? That's all I have to offer. I have the citation page, the references, George Orwell and Stephen Kahn. It was great going through this video. I had some trouble yesterday recording this, and I contacted the professor. I hope this one is acceptable. Apparently there was an issue with the mic in my computer, and that wasn't recording, and so I had to take it to Best Buy. I just brought it back. They fixed it for me, and here I am. So thank you for watching. Y'all have a good rest of your day. Bye bye.